Ronald Burgundy.
Victoria Conings.
Charles Brown.
Mary Collins.
Hello folks, I'm Ron Burgundy.
And I'm Veronica Corningstone.
And you're with the English channel at 6. Now tonight for you folks, we have an interesting lineup. We have an interview at a baby farm, a missing child case, a break-in and a robbery, and domestic violence case, quite bizarre, all following up with a murder, very gruesome, of a Miss Nancy Stales. Now, let's start at the interview at a baby farm. Back to you, Charles. Hello, I am Charles Brown here, reporting the problem of lack of funding here at the baby farm with Mrs. Mann.
Hello, I'm Miss Nan. I run the baby farm here. All these little children are like my own, but, you know, we don't have that much money to spend on them, so with what little we do have, I spend it all on them, and I just spoil them rotten.
And we'll be back right after the break with the interview from Little Dick, one of her little children here. And we're back. What's your name, fella?
I'm Little Dick, sir.
Did you have anything to add what Miss Mann was saying earlier?
Yes, she's quite the benevolent angel, a saviour indeed. I love her with all my heart, and she's just so nice.
And that's gonna wrap up our evening news.
Back to us at the studio. Victoria Cornerstone, I'm yours truly, Ronald Burgundy. In other news, we have a case of a missing child. His name is Oliver Twist. He's about 10 years old, and he's missing by a nice young gentleman named Mr. Brownlow. How about the description, Victoria?
Yes, Mr. Brownlow came in today with information about Oliver. He is about 4'2" and has blonde hair and brown eyes as well. If you have any information about him, we'd like if you could contact your local authorities or Mr. Brownlow if you have his information. Mr. Brownlow is also here today. Hello, Mr. Brownlow.
Hi, how's it going? Miss Bedwood and I are just really worried about Oliver's whereabouts. We know it's cold outside right now, so we just wanted him to be in a warm, comfortable environment.
Thank you, Mr. Brownlow.
Back to you.
Now we're on the scene of a robbery where a couple shots were fired last night here at the Maley Estate in West London. Here are some witnesses, Mr. Giles and Mr. Vigil. That's all. Hello, I'm Mary Collins reporting live from the Maley Estate, which was a scene of a robbery last night. Mr. Giles, Mr. Bridges, may you please tell us what happened here last night?
Yep, it was late at night, and it was about 5:40 to 11. I was sleeping, and then I heard a big crash coming from downstairs. It was the back window. I saw a young vagabond walk, and he was at the bottom of the stairs. I shot him with my spray gun in the right arm.
You're a great shot.
Shut up, Brittles!
That concludes it. Good night.
Back at the studio here. Thank you for that lovely news coverage, Mary. Now, Ron Burgundy, Victoria Corningstone, and we have a special guest with us today. Now, earlier today, we had a missing persons case, a Mr. Oliver Twist. Now, earlier today, we mentioned you can either turn him into the parish or Mr. Brownlow, but we also have an extra resource to help find him. This is his oldest sister, Nancy Stale. Nancy, what can you say about finding your younger brother?
Now you see, he ran away from my parents' house just a little while ago, and if you could please help me find him, it would mean the world to me.
Thank you, Nancy.
Quite lovely. Back to you.
Hey, good evening. I am Charles Brown, and I am alongside Vivian Hawthorne. We are here at this brutal murder scene that's taken place at William Sykes' residence and also Nancy Stale's residence. And I'd just like to ask, how did you stumble upon this situation?
Well, a couple nights ago, I heard a lot of fighting and screaming that came from this young girl, and I saw a very disheveled, angry man walk out of the apartment, blood on his body, and a couple days later, I smelled a horrible smell, and so I came over and took a look around, and there was blood everywhere. It was just a tragic mess.
And also, we have just gotten word from the authorities that they have verified this young girl's body as Mrs. Nancy Stale. And that wraps up our evening news.
And we're back. Thank you for that lovely report, Charles Brown. Now, earlier today we mentioned a missing persons case. A young lad, Oliver Twist, got separated from his caretaker, Mr. Brownlow. A very happy ending has occurred with the two. Oliver was adopted full-time by Mr. Brownlow, and the people who have kidnapped Oliver and put him through such injustices were brought to justice.
I'm Veronica Corningstone.
I'm Ronald Burgundy, and this is the English Channel at 6. Good night.